I'm Robert Carradine. I play Frank James in Bill Tilghman and the Outlaws.
Hi, I'm Darby Hinton, and I play Cole Younger in Bill Tilghman and the Outlaws.
Hi, I'm Richard Cutting, and I play Murphy in Bill Tilghman and the Outlaws. We're here with Darby Hinton and Bobby Carradine, who play significant roles as villains in the film Bill Tilghman and the Outlaws.
Villain? Did he say we were a villain?
Yeah, he did.
I think we were just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a rough childhood.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have you here today because we want to talk to you about your significant experience in the Western genre. What draws you to the Western genre film?
Well, you got horses, which is always good.
Yeah.
You got guns. I mean, every little kid used to love dressing up and pretending he was a cowboy.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with real horses, real guns, real humans in a Western
Real bad
town.
guys.
Yeah, it's the ultimate fantasy.
It is. It's kind of like being a kid again, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
you got all the toys.
we grew up. You know, I knew the Roy Rogers cowboy code and the Gene Autry cowboy code when the good guys were good and the bad guys were bad, and it's a fun time.
How'd they get down there? I don't know. Up the canyon. Keep bulleting.
What is your role in Bill Tilghman and the Outlaws?
I play Frank James.
Oh boy.
And this is obviously after he's done his prison time for being part of the James Younger gang.
Yeah.
And he's got a little haberdashery in a little tiny town in the middle of nowhere. And he gets swept up by Cole Younger into coming up with a scheme. I don't want to spoil the film.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I love the twinkle in your eye when you talk about that.
Don't believe a word he says. He's an outlaw.
He taught me everything I know.
I mean, I just want to warn you.
I shouldn't believe that. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that. You know.
Is this a face you can trust?
In our moving picture, you're going to pretend to rob a bank, and Mr. Tilghman and his men are going to pretend to arrest you.
Pardon the interruption there, Your Honor, but what do we get out of this? Except in the pleasure of Tilghman's sorry company.
Well, the 7 or 8 men we choose will be put up in the finest hotel in Fort Bowers, and you will dine on steak and apple pie and
Every night, our budget allows for 2 whiskeys and 1 good cigar.
And if you have a woman, well...
So there's also like an old West rugged value system that that's very attractive. Plus you get to play with the toys, and it's shoot 'em up, and there's action. You know,
And it's uniquely American.
Yeah,
Exactly. And the whole thing about going into work at 6:30 in the morning and you get all your gear on and you strap on the Colt 45 and you go see your wrangler and he hands you your horse and you mount up, and it's just nothing feels like that.
you're in the world.
And you get to shoot people, and they don't arrest you. It's great.
No, it's incredible. The Western genre is where it's at.
Some folks from California, they want to put me on the screen. This Hollywood fella wants Bat-Bear me to make a picture show about outlaws. The thing is they want us, not play actors. Us. And so they want to use real outlaws too.
Sounds like a good way to get yourself shot.
This bull goose named Selly, he said the people back east are clamoring for the real thing, not make-believe. And he knows Tom Osborne at the territorial prison.
Gentlemen, Marshall Tilghman and these Hollywood flicker men are here for a reason. And it's not because they want to look at your pretty faces. No, they want to put 8 of you fine aristocrats in a moving picture. You'll be 10 feet tall on the big screen. and live forever.
He said we could get out a few prominent hard cases, have them rob the bank. There'll be this big shootout, and we'll lock them up. Cole?
Tillman. Looking old.
Beats not looking old, I guess. The dime novels are everywhere, making outlaws into heroes. Scoundrels, murderers, and thieves is all they are, but to the folks back east, they're heroes.
Idle threats don't become a man of your stature.
You're right. What's the point of idle threats?
This could be an opportunity to show them what it used to be like.
Well, all seems to be going well with our wild bunch. You know, if we had a few more of our desperados, we would have had our dirty dozen.
If you add any more, I quit. And just call them outlaws, because that's all they are. Nothing more, and sure is certain, nothing less.
What if we rob the bank? For real?
Why?
To humiliate the great Bill Tilghman.
Listen, I got a really bad feeling about this. There's 100 people. All it takes is one of them to upset the cart. Besides, I got a lot more to lose than the both of you.
Make the West live for us all.
Oh, Jim! They're robbing the bank!
Into the town. What are they doing?
They're robbing the bank!
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How did you like working on a Western in the East Coast environment? Because we shot this in West Virginia. Is it different from your experience shooting, say, out west or around the world?
Well, yeah, I mean, just geographically, it's an Eastern. It's not a Western. But I really dug it.
You did?
Yeah. And we had...
Oh, the scenery and everything was great.
And we had snow flurries. We had everything.
Right, yeah. And they built a whole town, didn't they?
Yeah.
Out
in the middle of nowhere, they built this Western town.
Right.
And they had like an old-timey early 1900s automobile. I mean, it was incredible production value. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because we're a long way from Hollywood out here.
But I love that they're shot in the old Western town where they have the horses coming in and the people coming in and then the drone above it.
Yeah.
You know, take your shots. It just kind of brought the ages together.
That's really cool. And I don't know if you guys were around that day, but they had, I believe it was like a Civil War era cannon. Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when they shot that sucker off. I mean,
I'm rolling.
Quiet on the set.
Until cut. Thank you. Meeting. 94, take B1.
And I mean, the concussion off that thing was really extraordinary.
Yeah, it had a finality to it.
You knew which end you wanted to be on.
Yeah.
Notice you both have kind of brownish hats on.
Well, you know, I have a black hat, but it's in my storage locker and I couldn't find it. So I wore my American Hat Company hat, which was a birthday present for my brother Keith. I wanted to wear a good hat.
Well, it's a great night for DC and for you guys. And
Well, look at the hat this guy's wearing. I mean, it's got tears on it.
This has some mileage on it. Yes, it does.
That hat's a wreck. Kind of like Darby.
Kind of like me.
Get a bowl of soup with it?
No, but hopefully a shot of whiskey.
Look, by the end of tomorrow, we will know every move. And in addition to that, we will have the only guns that bark.
What about me?
Now, I don't want a slaughterhouse, Murphy. But I do want you and your men to disarm the guards. Now, they'll be out of sight, so easy pickings. Then you all have their guns. But Murphy, You spill a drop of blood, and I'll stop your clock myself.
All right, Cole. We'll play it your way. But I want Tilghman. He's mine.
What do you think the major appeal of this movie will be for audiences?
Well, I know a lot of the fans that I get to meet and talk to and stuff always tell me one of the things they loved about the old Daniel Boone show was the family values. And you could take the kids to it, but it still had something for the adults and all. And that's what I love about this one. It's a throwback. It's a tip of the hat to the old Westerns.
We get on with it before the food gets too cold to eat?
I guess.
Chuck?
Oh, Pa, you know I'm no good at giving the blessings.
Tench.
Thank you, Lord, for the food. And please, Lord, help Mama be more tolerant of those she doesn't understand.
And Lord Jesus, help this old woman to remind these boys she's the one that cooks the food that puts in their smart little mouths. Amen.
You know, it's a good, family, fun Western.
Yeah.
Well, plus it's kind of unique in that I don't think people knew that, you know, they were shooting movies in the early 1900s.
And that there was some crossover
And it's a
between
great
real
crossover.
cowboys and real Western characters
Right, and then-
the movie business.
Right, the movie business shows up in this little town and wants
Yeah.
to make a movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique. I think people will respond to it.
Yeah, and the fact that you've got older Western guys now in that part of their lives coming out into the storytelling environment with this new technology called movies.
Action! Now? Yeah.
Well, and you got bad guys, some escaping on horses, some escaping in a car.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's just a really great
It's a great
time.
area.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Right.
kind of unique.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a film where all these elements are combined in 1 2-hour sitting.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Rum and sugar be a fault. God bless the wicked.
The infamous Cole Younger.
The infamous guest, Cole Younger. Frank James. No, I haven't touched a drop since Northfield. Yeah, that was a while ago.
You each played characters who are historically real peoples. What did you like about your characters?
Well, I mean, for me, getting to play one of the Jameses was cool.
Robert, tell us more about Mr. James.
Well, the thing is, you know, I had it kind of in my head, Stacy Keach playing Frank James in The Long Riders. And James was his little brother. And I'm like, how am I going to play Frank James? I'm too young. I'm too handsome. But I relied on my fearless leader, Wayne Shipley, to guide me through the process.
Sorry, Mort. And if you go back in the Carradine archives, there's a relationship with the Samuel family, which is the family that took over for the James's father when he checked out.
Oh, we didn't know that.
Yeah, and we have cousins named Samuel. I had a cousin in Florida named Marshall Samuel, and his middle name was Carradine.
So you have a real world connection to the James.
To the Jameses. So this was like a dream come true to play Frank James.
That's so cool.
I want you to take this bag, go to that safe and fill it with real money.
I forgot the combinations.
Does that help you to remember?
Murphy.
Easy, Cole. Let this play out.
Cole Younger was a lot of fun for me. I've been privileged to play a lot of historical people in real life through the years. What was fun about him is he wrote a book on himself.
Right.
So that was one of the things I got to read. And just, you know, the fact is, when I first thought him, oh, yeah, he's that outlaw. But when you see that he was a Confederate hero, I mean, if the war had gone the other way, he would have, you know, had all the privileges and everything else. And I thought that was brought out nicely in this, that, you know, he went from that to survive in any way he could. And then just, you know, the fun to get to play with these guys, put it all together. Just the fact, too, the man's walking around with at least 10, there's varying numbers, but at least 10 rounds of ammo in him.
Ancient ghost, continue to haunt. 11 from Northfield alone. That wasn't our best adventure there, Frank.
Nope.
From the Northfield raid and
Well, yeah, and even before the Northfield, but the Northfield, when he was so shot up and his partner had his elbow blown off.
Yeah.
And still, they're 3 days on the run.
Yeah.
No, it's unbelievable.
Bleeding
what he
out
survived.
there in the woods with no medical attention.
Trying to keep a low profile because
Right.
you got people chasing him. I don't think they make people like that
These
anymore.
are tough guys.
Oh, yeah.
These are
Well, they
tough
do,
guys.
and they go into the SEALs or something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these were pretty incredible human beings.
And of course, I play Murphy, who is a hypothetical character. He's not a real guy. And you know, you were like the good bad guys. I'm the bad guy.
They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank! They're robbing the bank!
You know, how do you study pure evil? Wayne's great. Wayne gives you everything you need. You know, Wayne's a terrific director who will walk you through it and take his time with you. And you just break down the moments. And you realize that this guy's got one motive, and it's just to kill Bill Tilghman.
I'm not nearly done with you.
So it was really interesting for me to be playing with two historical guys and goading you know, sort of, it was really like working with mythological sort
Yeah, I
of...
want to talk to you about that goading.
The goading?
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
You can't do that in 2019.
Yeah,
You know,
no more goading.
No more goading.
All right, then we'll establish a no goading policy.
I'm one of the bad folks. I'm Mrs. Darling. And my boys and I have a little plan.
That book, that's gonna make you lose your edge.
Maybe it'll give us a different edge. Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
Joe, right now, you better just quit talking.
Big Joe is part of the Darling family. Yeah. Made up with Lana Wood and my good friend Patrick Boyer.
You know, I saw a moving picture once with Miss Lillian Gish. Yeah, she's parading around like a ballerina. I was never more in love with a woman. I think I saw that down in New Orleans. That's where I saw Jesus. Like Bear. Yeah, down in New Orleans.
In the film, I play Cherokee Wade. I'm one of the outlaws.
Ah, what's on your mind? What are you pulling in this?
Well, I'm hoping that everything turns out nice. I hear that I'm doing pretty good on film.
You're gonna rob a bank on
Yes, sir.
screen?
Yes, sir, I am.
I need you to hold on for a few minutes and keep these streets clear. I got unfinished business.
Why should we?
If you stick around, you can have my share.
I had the good fortune of being one of the Darlings. I played Little Joe with Johnny Alonzo and Lana Wood. Yeah, oh man.
I'm on! Howdy. That's better.
Little Joe!
And
and I play Arkansas Tom, so I get to be a bad guy. Yep.
And what does Arkansas Tom try to do?
Cause as much trouble as I possibly can. Start fights, shoot people as necessary. And they pull me out of prison, and then criminals do what criminals want to do, you know?
Well, would you look at that? Cole Younger.
Marshall! Dagnabbit, Marshall! You gotta let me out of here! Why, that's Cole Younger! And him and I are like that.
Oh, I seriously doubt that.
What is it about Westerns that still attracts people?
Horses.
The horses.
Horses
and I say
guns.
the cowgirls, but...
And the cowgirls, too, yeah.
And it's just so uniquely American. Of all, anything else, everybody has detectives, everybody has a military, but the cowboy, the Western, I mean, that's American as you can get.
It's romantic cinema. Romantic American cinema.
There's always a consequence, Cole. Perhaps, Frank, we were alive back then. Hell, they were writing books about us, the Robin Hoods of the West. Now, we're just fodder for the likes of Tilghman. Forgotten relics from a forgotten age.
You must have had a fun or funny moment on set. All sets have these little times that you joke around with other members of the cast. Do you have a moment on this set?
This story happened during a shot, and Cole Younger and Frank James are trying to get in position to not get shot, and we go running into this shed, and one of our guys comes in and shoots him. And just without even thinking about it, I go, "What'd you do that for?" And everybody cracked up, but it's in the movie. Cole, you all right? What'd you do that for?
A cut. What'd you do that for?
That's good.
They left it in.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
great.
that's
That's
a funny
hilarious.
moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine, I don't know how funny it was. It was one of those moments that, I'll remember the film by is when they loaded us in the prisoner wagon.
Oh, yeah.
This big old wagon, metal bars. It had been raining. It was ice cold.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting there trying not to shiver. But we get in this steel cage and we start going down the hill, and the wagon has to take a right and go over this little, dike over the water. And all of a sudden you feel the mud and slipping, and we're locked in a cage.
In a cage.
And it's starting to tip, and we're going, this thing's gonna go down like a rock.
Right.
And we're locked, and everybody's kind of like leaning over.
Yeah.
Like,
We don't want to blow the shot because...
keep coming.
Yeah, you almost drowned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, special.
Hilarious.
Gotta love movies.
Yeah, nothing like them.
Making movies and your
Making
depth
movies.
experience.
I hear tell Frank James is going to be joining the less fortunate amongst us to rob a bank.
It's entertainment, Cole. Entertainment. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. I can be very entertaining.
Well, that reminds me, we got tickets.
You want to go?
Let's go.
It's good seeing you, buddy.
All right,
We'll see you later. We're out of here.
All right, see you, man.
Nice meeting.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Getting old, Tillman. Wasted time. Time wastes me.